Hello again, and thank you for joining Jeff and Jenny's Classic Restorations. Well, today a little bit different. For the last 3 months or so, I've had nothing but problems with my son's VW Scirocco 1.4 TSI turbo engine. There's always been warning lights on. Every time I get something fixed, he comes back, there's another warning light on. So I've spent so much time doing this, so I've no expert. As you know, I'm not a mechanic. I just like to learn as I go. So I've been looking into this car, starting to learn more about it. So I'm going to show you some of the problems I've had and some of the fixes I've done, which hopefully will help some people in the future. There wasn't actually a lot online or on YouTube about the actual problems I had, but come and see what I've done and what I've got to do today, and hopefully it will help some people. Well, here we are. This is the Volkswagen TSI Scirocco engine, 1.4 turbocharged. As I say, I've spent so much time doing this. Back in over Christmas time, the gearbox had broken, so I fitted a new gearbox. The other hand here, my hands are still just about recovering from broken, bruised nails, nearly gone now, but that's a result of the gearbox, which got crushed trying to get the blooming thing in. So what I'm going to do today, to actually show you what I'm doing, I'm going to have to just take off a few bits and pieces. I'll take off the engine cover first. Well, the engine cover, I suppose. Take that off. That just slides out there. Get that out of the way. And also, before we start, I'm going to take off this air filter box. Just basically undo these screws here and undo the clamp here. Take the battery out to get to what I want to show you. And also, this is the turbo cover here. This has all been, everything seems to be bodged on this engine. So those two bolts just pull out. And all there is just one bolt down there holding it in. I'm going to try and get some more bolts for it later on. But let me take these out and I'll come back to show you what I need to do. Okay, so there we go. There's the battery tray removed and the air filter and the turbo cover here. That's all over there at the moment. So this is just really to help people. I had loads, well, he had loads of warnings coming up, and I just didn't know where to start on it. But one thing I did see online was just check that the cables are not touching the exhaust manifold from the turbo here. Well, this cable, well, the loom, was actually touching the exhaust manifold, and one of the wires had melted through to the core, which was actually touching the manifold, and the other wire had completely cut through. So I soldered in a new bit of wire. I'm trying to get some more sheathing just to cover this properly, but I've now tied it back with cable tie so it's away from that, and then that solved a lot of the problems. And then he goes off up the road. I got a misfire. Okay, so that turned out to be a coil pack. So I've got a replacement coil pack. Lovely. But then for the last few months he's also had trouble with an oil warning light coming on. So that was, I bought a new sensor a while back. Wasn't unable to find the sensor. Well, yesterday or 2 days ago I did. I don't know if you can see, there's the, let's get a torch on it a bit. There's the oil sensor, just oil pressure sensor, just under this wiring loom here. So okay, so I got the new one a few months ago, so I thought, well, I'll fit that. Where has that gone? Yeah, so I fitted the new one, but then I found that the obvious problem was the cable that should have gone in there wasn't in there, just loose. So I had to buy a new fitment for that to go in. So that will need soldering to the old wire. So that's the first thing we need to sort out. That should sort out the oil pressure problem, because obviously there's no signal at all to it. And then we had turbo boost overpressure problems. This is after all this is running. So down here, as you can see, is the turbo actuator arm there, and that goes backwards and forwards. So when there's too much pressure, this releases some of the pressure back into the system so it doesn't damage the engine. Well, the other day I checked all that, that seemed to be fine. So I thought, well, okay. And then the other thing was, it said check for vacuum leaks. Well, things are never that easy for me. So I happened to notice this wire or pipe was loose, and I thought, where the hell does that go? Anyway, I've found out where it was. I put this round in myself, just temporary, but it was just bodged in with a little bit of brake tube, brake pipe, and it just been shoved into this hole here, which just about holds, but not very good. So I thought, well, what can I do with there? So I've actually now bought a complete turbo boost sensor, which is here. So I'm going to replace that today, and then now the pipe, clean that up, that pipe will go straight on as it should do. So that is the plan for today, and we're going to hopefully find that will solve the problems for today. I'm sure you'll find something else tomorrow, but that's what we'll have to get on and do. Well, there's the oil pressure wire coming out of the loom. So what I'm going to do, we're going to just tie these together, and we'll solder this. Hopefully that should just a bit more. I think it's not very good with gloves on, to be honest. Okay, press that on there. Okay, so we'll put a little bit of flux on there, and hopefully this should work. There we go. Right, okay, so I've put some of this sleeve shrink stuff over here. We just heat this up a little bit, and that should hopefully seal that in and keep a good connection in there. There we go, nearly there. Okay, right. Now hopefully this will fit on there. Hopefully, here we go. God. There we go. That's right. There we are. So I'm hoping that will cure that problem. Obviously, if it hasn't got any feed, then it's not going to work, is it? So I'll tidy all that up later. Okay, job number 2. We try to remove this boost sensor. So as you can see there, where is it? Where they bodged this in with a bit of metal, which doesn't hold, that can go back on as normal, and so we should get the pressure back to the turbo, so, or the vacuum. So we'll I'll start taking this off. Actually, we'll just get this out of the way for now, the dipstick and that. Right, okay, so I'll just get these. There's 2 bolts, one here, or yeah, bolts, one there, Torx bolts. What's this, 20, and then one underneath. So I'll just get those off and I'll come back to you. Well, I didn't have much trouble getting the bottom one out. It was all in the way, but it just come out anyway, so it wasn't tightened up. So there we go. I just need to remove this plug now. Should push that in there. There we go, nearly. There we are. So that's out. We need to remove this hose. Hopefully, let's concentrate on this one first. Okay. Okay, that one off, and hopefully we can get this one off. Bear with me, let me get this one off and I'll come back to you. I got off the old one, so that's I'll push it back on there now. That's ready. You can see how big that pipe coming out should have been, rather than just bodged in there. So basically just reconnect these. It goes, put the electrics back in again. Hopefully. Let me come back to you on that one. Okay, the connector's back in now. Remove this, I assume that's brake pipe out of there, so that can go on properly in a minute. We've got this one to go on down the bottom again. And move the clip up. There we go, that one's on. Now this poor one that never attached properly to anything, apart from a bit of brake pipe. That can go on nicely there again. And do the clip up on this. Okay, there we are. That one on, and that one back in there. So I'll get these bolts back in, and hopefully that'll be all right. Right, that's all back in now. Let's start getting things back together again, and then we can see if it revs past 4,000 and we don't get any more overboost pressure warnings. So I'll get it back together. We have a little test and see what happens. Well, okay, that's all back together again now. I've made sure that wire and loom is pulled back from the manifold. So hopefully, after replacing two things, one we know is dodgy, hopefully it will rev past. It'll rev past 4 now. But let's have a look. Oh dear. Here we go. He needs a new battery as well, so he'll be paying for that when he gets paid next week. I'll have to use my topped on. Look at this, look kids, terrible, look at that. My wife would go mad if she saw that in his car. Look, I've been leaving this topped on charger with him, so I want that back, so hopefully I'll get a battery when he's paid. Let me go and stick that on and I'll come back to you. Okay, right, that charger is now, or the booster is now fitted, so let's see if we get anything happen here. Okay, seems all right at the moment. Steering wheel thing, I don't know what that does. Right, let's see what happens. No, still at 4. I don't understand this machine, I don't. Unless the engine's got to, or the computer's got to try and realise that it's okay now. But well, that's all I can do for now. I'll see what else we can do. It seems to be running smoothly, so well, we have to come back to it. Well, my son's now taken the car. He has rung me to say that it's running a lot better now. Still at 4,000 revs, but if any of you have any suggestions, I'll be grateful. So I hope you did enjoy this video. It just shows you a few little bits that I've learned over the last few weeks about this car, the Scirocco, and I'm sure there'll be more videos to come on this one, probably tomorrow. But anyway, you take care out there, and please subscribe if you do like the videos, and please leave your comments, any suggestions with his car. So until then, next time, you take care. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.